Doctors often tell me to slow down, so that I think it would be a good idea for you to consider extending my time and to give me some time tomorrow in addition to today.
Mr. Milosevic, to the extent that you have a written presentation, you might consider making it available to the interpreters. We'll adjourn for half an hour.
Mr. Robinson, I do not have anything in writing. I just have my notes, so I cannot give them my notes. They would not be able to read my handwriting anyway. The documents I have that are printed out would be completely useless to them. That's why I asked you to consider.
Very well. We'll adjourn for half an hour. Mr. Milosevic, you may continue.
Microphone, please. Satellite states.
Microphone, please. No translation.
Microphone is not working. Is it working now? Yes. It's all right now. All right, thank you. I mentioned Friedrich Naumann, the German theoretician, who in his book on Central Europe or Middle Europe explained a greater Germany surrounded by satellite states, which would be completely dependent on the great and powerful German state. Naumann never mentioned Serbia, not even as a satellite state, because according to him, Serbia, as a fortress that is in the way in this area, has to be wiped off the map. End of quotation. Let me mention that this creator of the Greater German Project, which implies the wiping out of Serbia from the map of Europe, in accordance with the anti-Serbian propaganda waged at the time and the well-known slogan of the time, Serbia must die, Serbien muss termien, for the sake of rhyming, this theorist is considered the ideologue of the Liberal Party in Germany, a party which has long served to balance the German political scene and which was in charge of German foreign policy during the time of Genscher and Kinkel. The same Kinkel who in 1993 felt the need to publish the idea of German revision of historical processes, and who said that something has to be done externally that we have twice failed to do. The importance attached by German liberals, especially the two above-mentioned leaders of German diplomacy, that they attach to the ideas of Naumann is best seen in the fact that the foundation for the Liberal Party is called the Friedrich Naumann Stiftung, or the Friedrich Naumann Foundation, and the same name is borne by the headquarters of this party, while its followers are best seen in the crazily destructive efforts of these two towards Yugoslavia, who wanted to fragment the Central European and Eastern European territories, and this in fact happened. You have the example of Czechoslovakia, not to mention the USSR, one of the winning powers, the leading powers that won World War II. When Serbia was sentenced to death in this deformed view of the exponents of greater German aspirations when it was drowned in the southern Slav state. The propaganda on greater Serbian aspirations was continued in relation to the newly established state of Yugoslavia. It is well known that in Serbia there were protests against the government decision to forge links with Hitler's alliance, and Churchill then said Yugoslavia has found its soul again. This was stated on one of the opposed sides. On the other side, Hitler, on the day Yugoslavia was attacked, stated that this military coup was directed against the same criminal clique, the same creatures who, through the assassination in Sarajevo, pushed the world into an unprecedented misfortune. End of quotation. This reminds us of what a new Führer stated on the eve of a new bombing of Yugoslavia. Clinton, the then president of the USA, in the night of the 24th of March, when explaining to the American public via television the beginning of the air campaign, as he called it, against Yugoslavia, he said the Serbs did not cause only World War I. Without them, there would have been no Holocaust. So much for the knowledge of history of these two criminals. The rest is contained in the German archives. The Führer, Hitler, was determined to destroy Yugoslavia by military means and to destroy it as a state. To destroy Yugoslavia as a state, this can easily be linked up to the message given in the notorious report by the president of the presidency until that time of Yugoslavia, Stjepan Mesic, to the Croatian parliament on the 5th of December 1991. He said, I quote, "Thank you for entrusting me with fighting for the interests of Croatia. In the segment entrusted to me, I think I have performed my task. Yugoslavia is no more." When speaking of these efforts and this crime, which was perpetrated against Yugoslavia and other countries, before the attack on Yugoslavia in Germany, there were directives given as to propaganda. Ambassador Ralph Hartman speaks of well-known traditional lines of German Balkan propaganda as follows. A, it is only the Serbian government that is the opponent of Germany, which fanned the flames of the struggle against Germany. B, all right, I'll slow down. I'll read more slowly. I quote further, as the Serbs implemented a ruthless dictatorship against the other peoples of Yugoslavia, primarily the Croats and the Macedonians, and this is an absurdity, we can clearly tell them that the German Wehrmacht is not entering Yugoslavia as enemies of the Croats and Macedonians. They will in this way be protected against slaughter by the Serbian chauvinists.